From the Post-Millennial, House GOP moves to reverse J6 committee subpoena against Trump advisors days before Steve Bannon is set to report to prison. So this is I believe it's Thomas Massie and Matt Gaetz. I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene has also signed on. This is what Matt Gaetz laid out on this show. He said, basically, you nullify those subpoenas because they control the House, and they can, and then there's no convictions. So this is GOP Rep. Eric Burleson, Thomas Massie, and others in the House have co-sponsored a resolution to rescind subpoenas from the J6 committee that were brought against Steve Bannon, Mark Meadows, Dan Scavino, and Peter Navarro. This would also immediately remove the contempt of Congress convictions, as if there were no subpoenas, there would be no contempt. Bannon is required to report to prison to begin his 4-month sentence July 1st. Quote, it's past time for the House of Representatives to take action to begin undoing the harm that was caused by the illegitimate January 6th committee, Rep. Burleson said in a press release. This is the right thing to do, and I hope all members of the House will join me in this effort. All right. I'm not super confident, but I don't see why this would not pass.
Yeah, I think it absolutely should pass. I think it's much needed support. We saw Garland, just months ago on tape, the Attorney General of the United States say that he can defy and ignore congressional subpoenas that he doesn't agree with. So there is an obvious double standard here and two-tiered system of enforcement. If you're a conservative like Steve Bannon or, Peter Navarro, and you defy an illegitimate, that's another crucial point I think that people need to realize. The January 6th committee is not a legitimate committee. It had no authority to send subpoenas. It didn't have, a ranking minority member. There are a lot of other issues with it. So it didn't have any authority to send these subpoenas in the first place. But when Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro defied those, they weren't doing anything wrong. And for them to be, held accountable for that, but not Merrick Garland, I think it leaves the American voter totally confused, and they're able to see through it, and they're able to see that this is just weaponization of the judicial system.
I like this because it is action, right? I think it's an interesting, rather than saying like, oh, darn, they've defeated us, and I guess you got to keep appealing or whatever, like it is the Congress saying like, we have a way to do something about this. They do send a lot of strong-willed letters, but in this case, it seems like they are moving forward in a way that could help people that are being unfairly targeted and punished, in my opinion.
Yeah, they say they're very specific that the committee, this January 6th committee, was operating without a ranking minority leader, which you mentioned, Kingsley. That's not customary for the committees. I don't know if that might actually disqualify them from being able to order subpoenas. And also that the Republicans on board were Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, who were not supported by the GOP at the time, but they were just put there by Nancy Pelosi. So I don't know if this operating without a ranking minority leader is enough on its face. Matt said it was. I'm pretty sure he was saying that it was.
Honestly, I don't know that it matters. The House can pass it. It's the House. They can just say, we do, because we vote. There are subpoenas. We say no. There you go. Gone.
So if the House votes to rescind the subpoenas, it doesn't go to the Senate. That's it.
Well, because this is a House action. It's only into itself. They're not passing a law. The House subpoenaed, the J6 committee subpoenaed these people, and the House is now going to say, nah, we're doing away with those. And they should. But I'm wondering, do you think Republicans will vote for it or they'll say no?
I think it'll definitely be a very clarifying vote. We'll get to see, who is willing to put their money where their mouth is. We see a lot of people on the campaign trail talk about the weaponization of the justice system, and they give lip service to what's happening to Trump, what's happening to Steve Bannon. But if we put this to a vote, we're going to actually see which members believe what they're saying and are willing to put their money where their mouth is.